Hello, everybody, all the sheep peeps and Jolly Dog fans. This is Sandy from Wilhelmina Junk Journals and Homestead Wool and Gift Farm. And I am here today with a new journal that's been in the works. Actually, two, if I get enough time to do both. This is Lena, and she was an Italian opera singer, said to be one of the most beautiful women to be photographed in the early 1900s. And she was from Italy. Her family, she grew up in Italy. And let me just go show you this before I go into the book here. So I tried to keep the things that I thought she would think were so pretty. So I have this cute or beautiful blue pendant. And this does come off if you don't want it on the book. And then she would have probably liked or had lots and lots of film costumes and things. So I tried to go with fabric she maybe kept on her own. Songs that never grow old are it was it's opera, a collection of opera songs that I used for the cover. And this is a vintage perfume tag or label. And she was born in Italy. Her name, Lena, is oh gosh, I really need to read my notes better. It means Christmas love or Christmas loved one or similar to that in Italian. And so her name is Lena. And she grew up near Rome and was singing to people like from their windows. They would listen to her singing out on the streets, and that's how she started making her money. Eventually, she got into school. She tried learning to be a seamstress and she hated it, so she quit. And she went on to become a singer on stage. And I really tried to fill this up with things she might have kept, like an old professional copy of piano music. Her father preferred Venice. It was just a little clip I found in a newspaper. And this was copyright 1923. So that I popped in here. We got room to write here. This folds out twice. And that is a mimeographed copy of some genealogical information on a different family. And then I've had so many pictures of her that were beautiful. Actress, the woman who performs in plays and films. Um, this was a painting, a very famous painting that an artist did of her. And I found so many pictures of her. It was just amazing. Um, so these are some of her pictures. This I figured might be what her Christmas tree looked like at that time. This is a copy I made of a back of a photograph, a cabinet card. And then this is her dog. I never did find the name of her little dog, but he's in a lot of her pictures. This I found in a book where looked like maybe he would have been a puppy. So I used salvage tape to put that down. This is some beautiful scrapbook paper I got from a friend. And it is, I believe, written in French, I guess. And then this has a little secret in here, and I did glue it in with the little broken necklace I had here. And it was her secret, I bet. Something to remind her of somebody. And I do not think she was in this opera, but it was an opera advertisement. This is handwritten music with a really cool ink blob in it. This is a piece of vellum from a book. More pretty paper that folds out. Plenty of writing room. Most of the trims and things I put on here are vintage, maybe even antique. This is a pretty paper I had in my stash. And since she was supposed to learn to be a seamstress, this is a copy of the back of a cabinet card for writing on. And here she is, all fancy. And that's another perfume label. And she was a very serious actress. She in her later life, she had a beauty product business, and it's kind of like what we would call a spa today. And I put in here some little things that maybe she kept from places she went. There's some tickets. There's some Italian. Oh gosh, I'm not with my words today, am I? Some Italian kind of places to visit in Rome. Here are things she maybe kept. One is an article about New York fashion from the 1800s. This is from England, 1888, and it's a theater list. It was in the newspaper. And this is just beauteous. I got that from my friend Angela at Traveling Crafter. And then I thought maybe she ended up in New York. And her claim to fame was I love this page the best, I think. And that's her again. Caviari was her last name. And when she got to New York, her claim to fame was the Merry Widow opera play. And she made that part famous and that play famous. And I think Little Miss Nobody was the other one. If I'm not sure if you've heard any of those, and this is a Florentine iris because of course. And here she is again. I added a little bit of my lighting's not great here. I wonder if I moved it like that, if it'd be better. I'm sorry, it's all looking really washed out here. Um, Darn it. But this is her. It was a trading card that she had. Just another. Um, this trim was coffee dyed by my friend Debbie Ham. And I'm sure she would have liked roses. This fellow is Franz Lear, composer of The Merry Widow. So I'm guessing she would have kept something like this. I can't believe everything looks pink. This stuff is not pink, but I can't fix the lighting. There. So there's an article about him. And here are more pictures of her. There were so many beautiful ones that I couldn't pick. So they are there for the new person. It's a vintage ledger paper. This is part of a music. Um, oh, for gosh sake, sheet music. And this was the only piece I could save. It was too pretty to just let it go. And this is probably something she would have kept from a costume or a gown. And then I have this, and this is about trains. This is her again. Love, she's so beautiful. And this might have been a leaf she saved from somewhere she went. maybe. And she would have had to have plenty of train information for her travels. This paper was dyed by my friend Leah Brannon, and this is a vintage fabric. And all through this, I figured she would have saved bits and pieces. Oh, here comes Jim. Hi, Jim. And maybe since she was one of the first opera singers in the silent movies. What's up, Mr. Wilhelmina? I guess we'll never know. So she might have been looking at things like equipment. This is antique lace. Vintage paper. This is, can't remember what this exactly says. It's German. It was a piece of sheet music. She would have had a lot of music. And this is a piece of rag paper. And you might hear Jim because he talks loud. He works upstairs in his office. And I just thought that was pretty, that she might have liked some poetry. And this section comes out. And all of the paper was um, dyed by a friend of mine out in Washington State, Bridget. I'll put the link to her down below. This is a little pocket. I just haven't put anything in it yet. This piece of paper was it's a flyleaf from a book, and the ink had bled through on a bunch of pages. And then this is a little Brown and Gross bookseller, Hartford, Connecticut. So this can come out, this whole section. And I made this her sample book where maybe she would have been planning outfits with pretty fabric and ribbons and colors put together. And this is one of her outfits. So I figured she probably likes glitter and glam. This is a tag. It's another little piece of, I think this opens. I'll leave that for the new owner. Gotta have some surprises, right? And then I put in a watch with the Eiffel Tower. She spent a lot of time in Paris. And some bling. I don't know what I hear. It sounds like a wash machine. And this publication is from Scotland, and it was from 1834. And she liked beautiful colors. That is a weird noise. It must be a washer. Oh, you probably can't even hear it. So anyway, plans of another dress, fabric she saw somewhere and really liked. And I just imagined maybe these were things she might have checked or kept for this outfit. Plenty of writing room. Another swatch. There's just a little tiny caboche on there, and a pretty handkerchief wound around. This is another piece of the 1850s from the Scottish newspaper, and this writing I thought was too pretty to lose. So that is that. This is Braille. It's from an encyclopedia. And I might have gone a little too crazy with the glitter in this, but I figured she would have been pretty flashy. And this is a picture of her place in Italy. And that was what I was talking about before, spa. You could go there and learn how to do all these wonderful beauty things. And she wrote beauty books. This is one of her beauty products. And I knew at one point what I was seeing here, but I believe it's a face cream. This is the front page from this book. I like to put these in here whenever I can. And it was from 1909, and this was the spine. I fussy cut this out, and here we have just some advertisements that were in a vintage paper. This is from Piano Roll Music. My friend Deb Ham put together this pocket, and then we have more of her things. And you know, she probably drank a lot of wine, champagne. So I put one of these in here. And that is vintage. I don't remember where it came from. Um, from something I had here. And there will be more in these pockets, but I wanted to leave some mystery for the new owner. So I will put more and more in these pockets. This is another piece of handwritten music, composer, more antique lace from my friend's grandma, who was a seamstress. And then this is the back of the book. So that is that. I suppose I could give you measurement if I can find my ruler. Aha! Hazel would be proud of me to remember this. So it is over 7 by 10. So I will have this available. You can contact me here about this. This is also something that goes with this. It's Speeches and Addresses by Abraham Lincoln. And I just think she read a lot of stories. And this little thing might have been something she kept with her, traveled with her. It's a little library, little leather library. And it is from, well, it had to be after 1860. So probably 1875, 1880. So that is Lena Pagliari. And then I never thought I would do a fairy journal, but look at that. I did it. I don't know if you can see her. She's just clipping along there with her shiny little wings. So I tried to make it all ethereal and pretty. I fussy cut the rose out. That's some antique lace. I stenciled on the white book cover because it needed help. And I thought stenciling was fun. I fussy cut that, and just the end kind of cracked me up. I do have a tassel that will go with it. I just haven't put it on yet. This is some really soft, beautiful pink lace. You can always cut it shorter or whatever you want. A field guide to fairies. This does open and tells you all about fairies. I meant to make this a pocket, but I forgot. So, and this is some really pretty scrapbook paper. And this is a Maori style. I'll show you when we get to the middle. You can take this whole pack out, or you can take a page out. You can do whatever you want here. You can add pages in. I fussy cut these for the tabs. Sit where the cat sits. Cross your toes, close your eyes, and smell a rose. Then say under your breath, I believe in fairies. Some pretties and some old stuff. And love that paper. And so I tried to just make this pretty. This is some more of Bridget's paper. This is a 1943 ledger. And I think it's from a doctor because it's talking about pain in left hip. And then I love these speedy little bunnies. Too cute. This is a vintage page that I got. More fairies. And leaves are always with fairies, right? These are adorable. Violet. I bring the springtime gladness from valleys where I grow. From sunny hills and woodlands, I bring the spring to you. I'd like to change my birthplace and grace your garden fair. Then every year in springtime, we'd meet each other there. Lily Valley. And these are just from a reproduction book of these. Um, Though the robin sings his carol and the bees around me hum, it's lonely in my valley where the children never come. So I've donned my best green satin with its fragrant fringe of pearls and forever left my valley just to live with boys and girls. And this is obviously I got new stencils, and this is a pocket that I forgot to put something in. I figured there had to be a chunky cat here somewhere. And then this is a piece of ledger paper from a doctor's book. More of the paper dyed by Ephemera. This is from a Delineator magazine. You may be familiar with the Delineator fashion magazines. They're beautiful. This is from the 1920s, and this was just a little 4-page pamphlet booklet that they sent out to girls, young kids. It wasn't just girls, it was kids. And this was a girl who loves fairies, and it was a letter written into the little magazine. More ledger, needed repair, so I used some vintage rescued tape. Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. And some pretty flowers. Oh, that was kind of pretty. This is another pocket made by my friend Debbie Ham. Great things with little wings. And there's something up here too, I believe. Oh yeah. She looked kind of like a fairy. Oh, and then we have a piece of onion skin or packing paper. I got them, so I will have to fix that. This is from a Raggedy Ann and Andy book. I copied a page from that. And lots of antique and vintage lace and trim. Wrapping paper my mom's friend saved for me. Made me giggle. It came in a big ball. Um, Everything that was fussy cut, etc. I was obviously me. So that's a pocket. This wonderful, beautiful piano roll paper was dyed by Hazel Anaka. And you can find her also. This is the Chambers Edinburgh Journal from 1846. Poetry, just let it fit. That's all. So, I mean, you can take it out and read it. You can, and then this is the Seagull Messenger. I just thought that was cute. I have to add some things to these strings. So all you would do if you want to take a page or whatever out is just slip it out from under tie. I thought she was cute. And the little boy with his fishing. Some cards. There's 2 pockets here. It was kind of fun. I never would have thought I would do a fairy journal, but there we are. I was going to do another one, bigger one, and then all the things I had set aside were the same as in this one, so I decided not to, and I sold the pack instead, and I will start anew when I get to a big one, a bigger one. This is a, kind of reminds me of a fairy, butterflies. It's an old powder tin. More Raggedy Andy with their fairy friend. I thought she was pretty. We all like old books, right? And there's some extra paper here. And there's a fairy with her horses. This I had fun with. There's that little cutie. I stamped that on some fabric. And it's a surprise castle. What else would you want? Lots of lace. This is very much a gator mouse. Whoops, I might have. Oh, that opens up. That's a hidden paperclip there. There's some more. Another little boy reading in a boat. Oh, this is another Debbie Ham. If you haven't ever gone to one of her sales, you need to go. And I thought she might be thinking about fairies while she looked over that valley. Oop, and some more little fairies back there. They're just kind of everywhere. There's a butterfly in there. There will be much more stuff in the pockets. This is the end paper from the little fairy baby books. 1947. Some beautiful handwriting. This is a pocket. I just popped some leaves in there. How the Goblins Became Stones. That's another page of the Delineator magazine from 1924. These are printed in a big sheet and then folded because they get folded in half and then in half again, and you'd have the 4-page book. Yeah, something like that. So the dates on the pages are upside down. And that's Robert Graft. Robert A. Graft. And then this cute little fairy girl. This had some vintage tape on it. I wanted to keep that. And I stamped this. And it's a copy. And then there's the back. So those two journals are available now. You can contact me or let me, they'll be on the website soon. And I try to get these videos done so that on the website I can point people to it to see a page by page. That saves taking 50 million pictures. So that is what I have for this video. I will have more coming up soon. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving in case this airs right before Thanksgiving. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for visiting with us. And everybody says hi. The sheep send smooches, and we will see you soon. Thanks, everyone.